Matt Farnham here with another episode of Real Life Questions and Real Life Answers here for you. These are questions I'm getting on a daily basis that are very applicable to so many people. So just want to share them with you, and the question I got and the answer for this specific client and situation. So earlier today was with a client, a friend, and he proposed to me a question. He said, and this is kind of a loaded one, so buckle up, but he said, Matt, I have a property that I used to live in, have since gotten married, so that property's rented out. This property it's a condominium, and it's worth around $200,000 or so, and he has 18 months left on the lease. They put a tenant in the property, and there's a year and a half left on the lease. Well, him and his new bride would love to buy a home, but they're short on cash for down payment. So he's part of him wants to sell this condo. After his mortgage payoff and closing costs and everything, he's got around $30,000 in equity. So he would like the idea of selling the property, free up that cash. Now he has a down payment to purchase a home. Part of the challenge is that would be 10% down on a $300,000 home, and what he's seeing in the marketplace, he probably wants to go a little bit higher than that in price point with the type of home and criteria that he wants for him and his family. So it doesn't quite get them to the down payment there. So first, there's a few parts to this. The first thing is just the fact selling the home while it's got 18 months left on the lease versus waiting until that tenant were to vacate. So the first part of this is I told him that I absolutely do think that you could sell your home for more money after the lease is up, because right now with 18 months left on that lease, he has no choice but to sell the home to an investor that's going to honor that lease. An owner-occupant's not going to be interested in the home. If an owner-occupant's financing, their loan requirements as an owner-occupant is going to probably require them to occupy within 30 to 60 days anyways. So unless somebody's buying it as a second home and doesn't mind that there's a tenant in there and they're going to wait at least 18 months or longer before they start using the home, that's unlikely. Chances are it's going to be an investor who's going to be making a business decision based on return on investment, what the cash flow is, things like that. And they're going to base their offer on that. And I will tell you from experience that offer is probably going to be much lower than we could sell it to an emotional owner-occupant purchaser that is buying it to live in it themselves once a tenant vacates. So a few different spins on this would be, yes, but I can get the money now. We know interest rates are really low right now, so that's attractive. But I said, Fannie Mae has just come out saying that they expect rates to be very low through 2021, so there might not be the urgency on that really low rate that some of us thought there could be. So that's one thing to consider. Pricing is another. Home prices right now are going up. The market's really hot. Inventory's low. That could continue to happen. So we talked about that. What happens if you wait another 18 months before you sell that home, get the cash, buy a home? Home prices could be higher, and interest rates could be up a little bit. So, if interest rates go up 1%, that's the same as far as your budget's concerned as a house changing 10%. So the home that's $300,000 today, if rates went up, a full percent 18 months later, that same home, the buyer can only afford $270 instead of $300. So that's a major factor to consider too. Right now with everything going on with COVID-19, nobody knows what's going to happen over the next couple years with the market. Right now we know it's hot, but do I think things are going to change dramatically one way or the other? I don't at this point. Interest rates probably won't change a whole lot either. So one thing that we talked about specifically was maybe the idea of, because he would like to save up a bigger down payment anyways. So I suggested to him the game plan of maybe what you do is you start to be very diligent in saving money, keeping your tenant in place. He's slightly positive cash flow, so he's not losing any money on the rental. But start saving money for down payment and get enough saved up where you can put 10% down at least on the home that you are really excited about buying. So that's probably going to save $35,000, $40,000. And then at that point, we could see what's in the market, and then obviously we could start house shopping at that point. And then what could happen is yes, you would get in with PMI on the mortgage. The payment would be a little bit higher than if he put the 20% down that he ultimately wants to. But what we could do is if he can get that down payment saved sooner than the tenant's going to vacate, we can help him buy a property, 10% down, he gets into the home. Once the tenant is going to vacate, maybe that's 6 months down the road or a few months away by the time we do this. The tenant vacates, we free up that other cash, and then he can do a recast on the loan, where you can actually do this one time in the life of a conventional loan. Make sure your lender sets it up this way. But he could throw another big chunk of money, and meanwhile the mortgage is going to get paid down more in the next year and a half anyways. But he can throw this additional amount of money, ideally another 10% in that example, at the new mortgage that he has. And if he can get that amount of money saved up or out of the equity and proceeds from that condo sale, then he can do a recast where he can get PMI to drop off the loan, and the loan will re-amortize as if he put that 20% down from day one. Typically it's about $400 with the lender to do this one-time life of the loan. It's not a refinance, there's no appraisal, there's no closing cost. It's a really cool option. So as of right now, that's an option that he's speaking with his wife about. Seems like a really good opportunity for their family. But regardless, the objective is going to be to save money, live conservatively, try and get that down payment saved up, so that way he can really get the home he really wants, with a good game plan of both getting in, maybe not immediate, but while rates are still going to be good, home prices probably still be pretty comparable. Wait till the tenant vacates to get more money for his home sale, but then use creative options like a recast, for example, where maybe he can take advantage of doing all of those things, the best way possible individually. So anyways, hope this helps. As a very loaded answer. The conversation was much longer as we talked through everything, but I tried to just kind of condense it for anybody that might be interested, maybe walking through a similar situation. So again, that's a real life at level 10. That's a real life question and an answer for you. Hope that helps. Hope you guys enjoy these videos and get value out of it. Please share them. Follow our Real Life at Level 10 series that we do, where we discuss insights on leadership, real estate leadership, and personal growth. And appreciate you all. Take care.